Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a video on funky opening, exciting finish. What is this about? Well, it is about the Grand Chess Tour 2019. The last event before the finals was held in Kolkata in India at the end of November. This is a picture from the prize giving. I took this picture from the Grand Chess Tour website. Magnus Carlsen is the winner. You see him there with the trophy. On his left, Levon Aronian, who did not have a good event in Kolkata, but still qualified for the finals. On the right, Ding Liren, who also qualified for the finals. And behind Ding, you see Wesley So. And behind Aronian, you see Hikaru Nakamura. The 2019 Grand Chess Tour consisted of 7 events, plus the finals, which will be held in London in December. Every player played 5 events, 5 of the 7, and there were also some wildcards at every event. It all started on the Ivory Coast, then Croatia, Paris, 2 events in the USA in St. Louis, the chess capital of the world, Bucharest, Romania earlier in November, and now Kolkata, India. These were the final results of the India leg. I got these screenshots from the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube channel. Magnus Carlsen won the event, that's why he was there on the picture with the trophy. Especially in the rapid section, he destroyed his opponents. He finished 4 points ahead of Nakamura and got 13 Grand Chess Tour points that way, and $37,500. Nakamura finished in 2nd place, Giri and So shared 3rd place, Ding Liren in 5th, Jan Nepomniachtchi in 6th, Anand the home favorite in 7th, and he had needed to finish in 5th place or better to qualify for the finals, so he did not make that. Vidit, the wildcard, in 8th place, together with another wildcard, Hare Krishna, and Levon Aronian had a very bad event, but still qualified for the finals because of his play in earlier Grand Chess Tour events. The final standings of the Grand Chess Tour 2019, Carlsen won it, a street length ahead of Ding Liren in 2nd place, Aronian 3rd, and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave did not play in Kolkata, but still qualified for the finals. It will mean that Carlsen will play Vachier-Lagrave in the semifinals and Ding will play Aronian. Sergei Karyakin just missed out by 0.3 points. He narrowly missed out on the finals. And Anand, as mentioned, didn't make it either. You see the remaining players there. The wildcards are not in this standing. Magnus Carlsen 1st place, yes. He has had a very successful 2019. And he's the favorite for the finals in London and also for the upcoming Rapid and Blitz World Championships later in December. A picture of the 4 finalists, Carlsen, Ding, Aronian and Vachier-Lagrave. And of course I will show you a game from the event. This is an interview after the game by Vidit on the right with international master Tanya Sajdev. And they were talking about Vidit's game against Aronian. And that's the game I will show you, making use of Vidit's comments in this interview. It is the 26th of November 2019. This is round 22 of the event, which means the 4th round of the last day. The last day of Blitz. White Vidit, black Aronian. 5 minutes and a 3-second delay is the time control. Vidit opened d4, knight f6, c4, c5. And now d5 is the main move, but Vidit decided on knight f3. Aronian took in the center, knight takes, and here e5, kicking that knight is the main move, but b6 is also a theoretical move. Vidit said after the game that Aronian played a very funky opening with b6 and then the bishop maneuver bishop f8 d6 to e5 as we'll see. Knight c3 was played by Vidit, bishop b7 on the long diagonal, and this is not that funky yet. This has been played many times before. f3, white wants to play e4, get a strong center to blunt the bishop on b7, and here e6 is a move that has been played many times before, and so is d6, but Aronian decides on a6, keeping a knight out of b5. He wants to put his queen on c7 and does not want to be disturbed by one of those knights. e4 as planned, now e6, bishop e2 developing, there goes that queen to the c7 square, bishop e3 developing, and now that funky bishop maneuver, bishop d6, with a little threat against h2, that's now attacked twice. g3 to prevent that, and knight c6. Queen d2 and bishop e5. And as Vidit commented, it's a known idea, but he had never seen it in this position. Knight back to b3. Aragnan castled, and knight a4 by Vidit. He said, I got a bit greedy. Why not knight a4? I said to myself, attacking the b6 pawn. He said, it's probably not accurate, but I was very tempted to go for these complications. And he said that rook c1 is a more normal move. Indeed, is attacking b6 now with 2 pieces. So black has to do something against that. And b5 was played by Aragnan, which Vidit said was a good move. Even though now white wins a pawn, but black gets compensation. C takes b5, a takes b5. Bishop takes b5, white is a pawn up. And now d5, striking in the center. Vidit said that maybe he should have castled here, but he didn't. He played rook c1. And now a very nice move by Aragnan, which Vidit had not seen. Queen b8. It's a very creative move. The engine gives d takes e4 as an alternative, but also thinks queen b8 is fine. Is now white not just winning a piece? Did black give up on that knight on c6, which is attacked twice and only defended once? The queen was also defending it, but it does work tactically. If white decides to take on c6 with the bishop, then bishop takes, rook takes, and now the knight on a4 is hanging. So black gets his piece back. If instead you take with the rook on c6, that's also an option, then bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6, and rook a6, and the bishop is trapped. It's a very complex position with unequal material, but the engine evaluates it as about even. Vidit showed these variations after queen b8. He decided not to go for that. He decided on knight b to c5, with a threat of knight takes b7, which wins for white. After queen takes b7, there would then be bishop takes c6 with that skewer. So after knight bc5, Aragnan had to deal with knight takes b7 as a threat and played knight e7. Nice move, because if now white takes on b7, then there is queen takes, and now there is no bishop c6 because the knight is covering that square. So after knight e7, Vidit had to do something else. He played f4, which he called a mistake. The engine thinks that knight b6 is the best move in this position. But f4 was played, bishop c7 from Aragnan, Vidit castled, and rook d8. And Vidit said in his interview afterwards that knight takes e4 should have been played here. After which the queen is attacked, so he said, I should move my queen here, because knight takes e4, d takes e4 gives black a good position. Vidit said, now Aragnan gets a lot of squares for his pieces. So after castling, knight takes e4 was the best move, according to Vidit, but Aragnan played rook d8. And now Vidit played e5, and he said, now I felt very good, as my pieces are well placed. And indeed, black's pieces are somewhat cramped and stepping on each other's toes. Knight is hanging, so knight e4 was played, and queen d3 from Vidit. That queen was attacked on d2. And now he said Aragnan missed a tactic. d4 should have been played here, said Vidit, to try and get some counterplay for black. But instead of d4, Aragnan played knight f5. And he had missed this move, knight takes b7. And that in itself is not so bad that he had missed that move, because it's still playable for black. Queen takes, yes, there is bishop c6, skewering black's heavy pieces. But there is queen a6, the variation continues. Queen takes, rook takes, and bishop b5. And Vidit says he thinks he is better here. The engine agrees that white is indeed slightly better. But after knight takes b7, Aragnan made a tactical mistake, which led to an exciting finish. He took on e3, and that doesn't work. And Vidit showed why. Knight takes d8, and you cannot take on f1, take the rook back, because of knight c6, an in-between move attacking the queen. Black has to save his queen, and then white takes back and is a piece up. So after knight takes d8, taking a rook, Aragnan took back with the bishop. Queen takes e3, and now queen takes b5 is the only move, but white is then just an exchange and a pawn up. Aragnan thought that he could take on a4, but after bishop takes e4 he saw what he had done and resigned. What he had planned here is bishop b6, and it looks like black wins white's queen. doesn't it? That's a nice cure. If you want to look for the refutation of this move, what did Aronian miss and saw then later so that he resigned, and what Vidit had seen long in advance. White wins with a very nice move. A nice tactic, rook c8 check. Deflecting the queen, and then you can take on b6 with an extra rook for white. After bishop takes a4, Aronian saw that bishop b6 does not work and resigned. Aronian had a terrible tournament, finishing last, but had done so well in previous tournaments that he still qualified for the finals, which are only a few days after the event is concluded, so Aronian needs to find his form back. Vidit did not have a wonderful tournament, but as a wildcard, he must have been quite pleased, with joint 8th place and a few nice wins against the top players like this one. The London Grand Chess Tour Finals will be played with all 3 time controls: classical chess, rapid chess and bullet chess. It will be very exciting, and I will make sure to report on it on Chess to Impress. And this is a reminder about our game, Rick with white against the Chess to Impress viewers with black. I've just played my 22nd move, knight c4 takes a knight on e5, and it is your move. Will you recapture the knight or will you play something else? And if you recapture, will you do that with the bishop, the queen or the pawn? You can take part in this great game by putting your 22nd move for black in the comment section underneath this video. And by doing so, you will not only be part of the game, you will also be in the raffle. At the end of the game, I will raffle a chess book amongst the viewers who have taken part in this game. Looking forward to seeing your moves in the comment section. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Vidit's game, a funky opening with an exciting finish, and an update on the 2019 Grand Chess Tour. If you liked the video, please give it the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.